Hello guys and welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm here for the match review of Inter AC Milan. Match I finished 2-2 at the San Siro in very dramatic circumstances as AC Milan was down 2-0 before Romagnoli and Zapata tied the game in the last 10 minutes or so. And what an incredible sight, what an incredible day really it was for Milan. Not the best performance. I was very disappointed throughout the course of the match, as you may have seen in the watch along, but at the end of the day we got this very prestigious draw, which in my opinion almost feels like a win today, because given the circumstances that we were in, it seemed like this game was definitely destined for a loss, because it was 2-0 until the very last moments of the game, and then out of nowhere our two center backs, Romagnoli and Zapata, tie it all up for us to get a point out of this game. And this to me is a much bigger and better result to AC Milan than to Inter. Of course, before entering this game we were already 2 points ahead of Inter. Inter knew that they had to come out in this match, get the 3 points in order to overtake us in the standings. But guess what? They pretty much destroyed that chance as we tied them. We still have our 2-point advantage over them, and they just lost that opportunity to overtake us in the standings. Like I said, not the best game. I was very frustrated with a lot of things that I saw today. Specifically, the defense, the midfield, and even going forward, we weren't the best. The game started off in pretty good manners, I guess you could say. We had some very good chances at the beginning through Deulofeu, Bacca. Unfortunately, we weren't able to put the ball in the net. That was around the second minute. And that was pretty much the only chance I could recall throughout the first half. At least the only half-decent chance that we had to score. Besides that, really the midfield wasn't that good today. The defense as well. I think the quality of Inter's midfield was far superior than ours. We could have seen it. They definitely have the better players in that midfield. And defensively, it was just a big, just disappointment and embarrassment altogether. Because on the first goal, Di could have done more. Donnarumma could have done more as well. Candreva somehow managed to find the back of the net. The second goal, let alone that first goal, the second goal was much more embarrassing. It seemed like the defense was completely lazy to even attempt in defending that. And I don't know what it was. Romagnoli, Di Calabria, their man marking was absolutely horrendous. And Perisic literally served Icardi a pass on a golden platter, and all you had to do was definitely just touch the ball in the net, and that was it. 2-0 at halftime. A very disappointing scoreline, a scoreline that many people, including myself, were not thinking that we could possibly come back from. But Milan once again proved us wrong. They proved us that throughout the whole course of the season we have had very bad games, very poor games that we couldn't win. We weren't capable of getting the wins. But there's always games that Milan manages to fight as hard as they can, even if it's for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and they manage to get a result out of nothing. That has been the major difference for Milan this season compared to previous years. Like I said before, not the most deserved result, but I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. If Milan can play 5 to 10 minutes like that and just score 2 goals, I'll be more than happy. The thing is, like I was saying during the watch along, consistency is still missing in this team. We're still not capable of having, full 90-minute performances, and where not only we are dominating on a consistent basis, but we're just capable of staying consistent and not have these ups and downs throughout the course of the game every 2 seconds. You know what? I'm just happy. I'm just happy for the way that we managed to tie this game. I know that a win would have been the best outcome for it, but given the circumstances that we were in, a tie almost feels like a win, because we were just minutes away from losing 3 points. from losing 3 points, and out of nothing we made Inter lose 2 points, and we leveled them in a game that I think Inter was this close to winning. To me, that speaks volumes, and I'm very happy with the way the match ended. Of course, once again, like I said in the watch along, karma is a bitch. The way that Inter tied that game against us in the first time we played this season in the Derby della Madonnina in the Serie A, the same thing happened exactly the same way for Inter this time around. Milan tied it with Zapata at the last second, and who would have thought? Zapata scoring a last second goal to tie it in the Derby della Madonnina. Just scenes, guys. Incredible. But other than that, Milan needs consistency. And today, yes, the result wasn't as bad, but, you cannot afford to play so poorly in one half. And in the second half, we didn't play as bad, but it was still pretty bad. Even though we managed to get the points, it was still a pretty shambolic performance for Milan. And like I said, when we do play against direct competitors that are against us in terms of the Europa League qualifications, these games matter the most, and that's why I'm happy that we didn't end up on the losing side today. Meanwhile, Atalanta is currently playing Roma, so we're definitely taking a look at that as well. We are currently 1 point behind Atalanta. Obviously, that all depends on what happens in this game today, and Lazio is also playing against Genoa. So, like I said, not a bad result, not a good result, but better than losing, that's for sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, guys. I'm really curious to know what you guys think about the game in general. What did you think about certain player performances? Let me know in the comments. I'll be commenting on that as well. Seyun says, we played horrible and we didn't deserve this draw. We were lucky many times this season. Let's not forget that. We were very lucky, but I think we were also very unlucky on many circumstances. One that I could recall on top of my head was the Juventus game. Another one was the Inter game that we should have won, but Inter tied last second, which happened the same way today, but for us. What I like about the team, though, is that there's this fighting character that we didn't have in previous years in terms of managing to pull comebacks. If you tell me, were we capable of pulling a 2-0 comeback last year or 2 years ago, in the last minutes like that against Inter, I would have told you no. Definitely improvement needs to be done. There needs to be an improvement if we want to get anything out of it. But, it's just the case that what I'm seeing, at least, is an improvement in terms of character. And hopefully that will go a long way, not only for now, but also in the seasons to come. Now, we're going to go on to Pietro because he's calling me and I want to know his thoughts exactly on the game, as he always provides very good insight. So I'm currently giving him a call. Hi, Pietro. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, loud and clear. Gio, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. All right. So the game finally finished. 2-2 out of nowhere. What was your initial reaction after you saw those goals?
Oh my God, I looked like a maniac. I was jumping up and down like we won a World Cup or something.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy, especially like we came back from behind like that. But first of all, I just want to say the performance was garbage from us. But I'm happy with the result because it wasn't so much the point that we gained that was important, but the 2 points that they lost and the head-to-head that they lost for the Europa League race is huge. That's why I was excited, because screw the point and screw the performance, because it was a terrible performance if you ask me. Good fighting spirit at the end, but I'm not pleased with what we showed. But anyway, I want to talk about the positives really quick.
Yeah.
I think that just in the standings, in the race, I don't care how we get to Europe this year. It's going to be ugly for sure. I'm not happy with these performances. That's what the summer's for, to reinforce a squad and make it a competitive squad for next season. But let's just get to the Europa League however we can. Get in Europe as best as we can, even if it's ugly like it was today. I'm just happy Inter dropped 2 points again, and their head-to-head fixture is now gone against us because we've tied both games. That's huge, huge, huge.
Yeah, very very good point there. And not to mention that, once again we made Inter drop points again, and this is 4 games in a row now that they drop points. So that's also another thing that we need to know here. And like you said there, 6 games remaining, guys,
And we're still ahead of them.
and we're still ahead of them. And Genoa just scored against Lazio, so
Oh, beautiful.
this is an update that's coming in as we speak. Genoa 1, Lazio 0 as we speak. So there you go. It really, all it is, it's just getting there. Like you said, Pietro, as doesn't matter in which condition we manage to get there to the Europa League, the importance is to get there. 6 games to go, still lots of culture to play. We need to keep the
Definitely, it's not
concentration.
over.
And
Yeah, no, definitely not over.
And that concentration, really, that we saw in those last 10 minutes, is the concentration that we need every game. And how many times did we say this, Pietro? How many times this season did we say we need to stay focused like that? We need to stay concentrated. But obviously, the team cannot keep stable. They cannot have this consistent concentration, and I think that's what's really bothering them at the moment. Unfortunately,
Yeah, this team.
it's always lapses and lapses in this team.
What you said, Gio, was pretty accurate, though. I mean, this team has these problems, but somehow, some way, they come out on top. I honestly, I don't know how sometimes, because you get these performances, but then we get results. Like the difference, like you said, you spot on. Last year, these performances would have equaled no points. This year, we're
Exactly.
scraping draws out of them. We're scraping wins out of them. I mean, look at that Bologna game. Who could forget that we're down 2 men in stoppage time and go win the game when we did not deserve to get that to win that game. But these
Yeah.
are the kind of results that we're getting this year. And like I said, like whether it's ugly or whether it's pretty, we got to make it in. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking that the Europa League is, if it's not the Champions League, then nothing. But I just have to say, getting into Europe, look what it did. Look what the Europa League did for Juve or
hmm
Juventus
hmm
when that year that they spent in there. It was so important. So
It
getting
builds it
into
builds character
these
too.
guys,
I think it really builds
exactly,
character too, and like besides the fact that you're playing in a European competition, this is competition that's very much harder, I guess you could say. Not always the case, but it's definitely harder to win European matches than league matches, I guess.
definitely,
And when you go back to the league and you have that mentality that you have to work harder to get your results, that mentality could go a long way. And that's why I believe that even though we do play in the Europa League, that's character that you need. And that character
definitely.
can go a long way.
And the fact that it's a young squad and it's a project for the future,
hmm
playing in a European competition for these guys like Calabria, like Locatelli, that have never seen this kind of stuff. And actually, I take that back. Most of these guys have never seen this kind of stuff. A lot of these guys have never seen a top European competition. But
hmm
getting them this experience, what I think will serve them well in the future to come when we do qualify eventually for the Champions League. But I mean, as far as this performance today goes, I just want to say I was not pleased. I hate to be negative about it, but it was not pretty, and I think all the players know that. And I think we honestly got lucky to tie the game.
hmm
Thankfully, the referee played it fair. I was really pissed off when they were wasting all that time with the substitution, and the referee read it well. Though, give him credit because
Yeah.
usually that doesn't happen. People are teams are subbing in stoppage time, and they don't add it at the end. He added it and even told Delafeu when he was complaining, "Don't worry, I got it." And guess
hmm
what? He added it at the end. I was actually very surprised to see that corner kick being taken. I thought that when it went out, that was it. And then, God, thank God for goal technology, right? So
Yeah,
happy
thank
for
God. Thank
that.
God for that. And also, I want to mention something there that you mentioned, which is a very good point on adding even more time. And, we saw that exactly against Juventus. When Jose Sosa got sent off, that's exactly what happened. So,
Yeah,
for one, I was going to get pissed off if the referee didn't add more time. He did. He did do his job good
yeah,
today. So I was happy about that. I was really
yeah.
happy that he did his job. He added the extra minute, and in the end, that chance is exactly what we needed. That's the chance that we needed.
Yeah, I
So
just
I'm
hate that
happy
we
for
have to
that.
always leave it late.
Yeah. You gotta love that goal line technology, and that's exactly what we need here.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
I was happy about that, at least, at least. And it's funny, we were bashing on the defense all game long, how bad they were. And then out
I
of
know, they're a
nowhere,
pull out of nothing.
Zapata and Romagnoli, the two center backs, these guys come
What are
out
the
of nowhere
chances?
and rescue
What are
the
the
game.
chances?
But what makes me laugh even more is that Montella threw on all his attacking options out there besides
Yeah,
Cutone. There was
and nobody.
Ocampos, there was Suso, there was Delufeo, Baca, Lapadula. None of these guys could score, but the other two, the center backs, get the goal. Like, it's just incredible, you know? It's just, that's Calcio for you, you know? It's so unpredictable. Things can come out of nowhere, and that's exactly what we saw today with
But
AC Milan's comeback.
definitely, the best part about this was the Interista fans at the end of the game in shock. I loved it. That's how I felt after the andada, after the
Well, yeah,
first
well,
fixture.
that's it. That's it. That's exactly what I was saying. You know, and someone I think even mentioned in the comments, they were saying, you know, in the first fixture against Inter, it felt like a loss because
Yeah, definitely.
we were
Yeah,
winning the game, and then out of nowhere, Inter robbed 2 points from us. This
and
time,
that's
it was the other game. It was the other way around. We robbed 2 points off them, and really feels like a win this match, I guess you could say, given the circumstances that we were in. Obviously, we didn't play good. The performance was not good, especially in that first half. You know, I cannot give too much credit to Milan today. The only credit I could give is based on that comeback, because other than that, for 80 something minutes, I was
yeah.
pretty much falling asleep. I don't know how you managed to stay up, Pietro.
Yeah, it was a boring. Honestly, it was a boring derby. I don't think I've ever from my time in watching derbies. I don't ever remember a boring derby.
Well,
Even
the,
when we lose, it's never boring. This one to me was boring.
it's because
Inter sat back and defended
that's
them
it.
the
That's
entire
exactly
second
it.
half.
That's exactly it. And I think that's the mistake they made. And I honestly don't remember Donnarumma making any save in that second half, if you ask me, besides a shot that was directed right
I think it was
towards him.
Perisic, yeah, directly to him. We got
Yeah,
lucky there too.
that's
He didn't
it.
pick a corner because Donnarumma was directly in the center of the goal, and
Exactly.
we were very fortunate there that they didn't go 3-0 up.
So that's exactly my point, you know. Anyways,
Yeah,
happy with the result. Move on to the next one. At least we didn't lose, and we would have been talking about a whole different thing today if we lost that game. That's why I say it's good to speak about those last 10 minutes, but it's also important to speak about those 80-85 minutes beforehand, because I think that was a big indicator of our game as well, and we shouldn't only focus on the good sides, but also what the majority of the game was composed of. So,
yeah,
definitely learning process. Got to continue this way. Got to continue picking up wins. Next week we're playing Empoli. That's gonna be a game we should be winning, but once again, you never know.
yeah, exactly.
And 6 games left, guys. 6 games. That's all there's to it. Not the time to lose games. Not the time to draw points. We
Yeah,
need to work hard. We need to work hard as hard as possible, really. And after all, if we do work hard, I'm sure the results will come, and the rewards will start coming in for sure.
Yeah, there was like you said, Jude, the results help, and the fact that they came away with a draw here, they're gonna go to Easter Sunday, Buona Pasqua, and they're gonna be heads up, like they're gonna feel good
Exactly.
about this one. Hopefully, take it into
Exactly.
next week.
And that's another thing I was saying to myself as well, you know. Wow, this is really gonna ruin my Easter weekend, and out of nowhere, you know, I can't be too upset at all.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. If you were to told me before the game they're gonna draw 2-2 and it's a guaranteed draw, I would have been disappointed.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
I would have said no. We need to win this game.
Like I said, given the circumstances, I'm happy. If you told me beforehand that's the way it was gonna go, I wasn't gonna be
Yeah.
pleased. But yeah, definitely,
Right.
definitely. All right, Pietro. Thank you for calling in,
Gio,
man. Thank you for your
thanks again,
time.
you guys. Yeah, thanks again, Gio. Good talking to you guys, and happy Easter to everybody out there that celebrates it.
All right, thank you. You too, Pietro. Take care, man.
See you, Gio.
We're getting another call here from Jeffrey. Hi, Jeffrey. What's up?
If you would have told me before the
Oh,
game, they're gonna
I'm very excited right now.
Yeah.
Haven't been asleep since, I woke up yesterday. I've been awake for almost 24 hours straight now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did you make out of that? Romagnoli and Zapata tying the game like that. Wow, eh?
It's the most shocking thing I've witnessed this season. We should have lost this game.
Yeah.
We had no defense, and then we attack with, I don't know how many attackers we had on the field, but it seemed like everyone you could think of. And then they can't score, but the two defenders they pop up at the very end and they put it in the back of the net, showing the strikers that we can do your job and then you can do our job.
Exactly. Exactly. But the funny part is, like I was saying before, is that they were the ones to rescue the game, and who would have thought? Who would have thought that they were the ones? It's just funny. I think personally, I think this is like the biggest slap in the face that Inter can get, if you ask me, because it wasn't even Bacca or Lapadula getting the goals. It's two center backs out of nowhere, tying the game against you guys, and out of nowhere they just lost a win, which was pretty much in their hands. It was just taken away by two center backs.
Hmm. I mean, it's just I have this opposite feeling I had when we first played them early in the year when we were going to win. They come back and they tie it. I felt gutted. I felt like,
Yeah,
oh Lord, here we go again. We're just going to be that 10th place team, and then today I felt like, oh man, here we go again. We're just gonna keep losing, and then we score one goal. It felt we fired it up. Then late in the at the literally the last kick of the game,
yeah,
he puts it in the back of the net, and we're like, oh my god, did it just happen? And
yeah,
we're like, yes, the ref is giving it.
yeah.
We got a point, and I was like, I was just I had no words to say after that.
Yeah, really, no words. And that's exactly my thoughts. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, did that hit the side netting? Did that go in? Because I couldn't really see it from that angle. And all of a sudden, you see players running to the referee, celebrating. It went in, it went in. And thank God for the goal line technology, like I was saying before. Thank God. Because this could have been another Muntari case, that's for sure.
If we didn't have that and we had that ref that's still behind the goal, we still would be there saying it's in, it's in, it's in, and the guy would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. This isn't my job.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's very true. All right, Jeffrey. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, man, and get some rest.
Oh, I wish I could, but I have to go to work now.
Oh man, what a day for you. Well, at least it's not gonna be a disappointing one after the way that we got this result.
Uh-huh. Well, you guys have a good rest. I'll see you guys later.
All right, take care, man.
Hmm.
All right, let's get into some comments before we sign off. I'm looking at some comments regarding Baka. Seyun says he should play women's football, although even there he can be pushed around and lose the ball. Honestly, it baffles my mind. I don't understand how he's capable of losing the ball so fast and so easy every 2 seconds. It's literally a given that every time he has the ball, the opposition will take it away from him. It's a given. It's honestly a given. And guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. Last summer, for those guys that have been following the channel for a very long time, I, for one, was the first one to say Baka deserves another season. He deserves another season. Today, this season, he's been getting goals, okay? Not as much as last year. I think we all know that. But meanwhile, Atalanta has just scored against Roma. But Roma is playing at home, so I'm expecting them to equalize it soon. Anyways, Atalanta 1-0 against Roma, and they're currently in 4th place as we speak. Like I was saying, getting back to my point, I actually lost my train of thought. But, it's just incredible that we have to undergo in these types of circumstances, it's something that Baka needs to... I don't know. I was the first one to say that Baka needs to continue at least another season and see what he could do for Milan. This season, he scored, I think, 10 or something goals in the Serie A, if I'm not mistaken. Something around those lines, 13. But it's not just about the number of goals. It's just about his involvement in general. And I think this is really the last season for Baka. I think the owners know it. I think the fans know it, that we cannot continue down this road. We cannot continue down this road. So, yes, he gets lots of chances. He scores goals. But enough is enough. I cannot continue to watch a guy that's supposed to be our primary striker losing the ball like that every 2 seconds. Every time he has the ball, it's like a given that he's going to get dispossessed. I cannot take that. I don't know about you guys, but this is not the team. This is not the player that we need for the future. Maybe with better players around him, he could do better. But then again, Deulofeu and Suso are not bad players. They're good players. They're very good players, and he's still not capable of doing good things. It's all about people serving him. That's what everyone thought at one point. It's because he's not getting good service. He's not getting good service. Even when he has good service and he has the chances, he doesn't take them. That's my take on this. Milanista says, Gio, I don't know about this 12:30 kickoff. It just didn't feel right. It was cool for the first Chinese derby, but Milan is an Italian club. I didn't like it at all, and I could completely agree 300% with you. It's way too early for a Derby della Madonnina like that. It really didn't feel like the Derby della Madonnina. It felt like any random game. Just to see it being played under sunlight, to me, is just, out of the ordinary. But honestly, I just hope that it doesn't become a tradition, that every time there's a Derby della Madonnina, it's going to be at that time, because that'll be just stupid. I think it will be just stupid just to work out the Chinese, the Chinese fans, to make them engage in the game. I think it's just stupid logic, if you ask me. I mean, once in a while it's good to have, but for a derby, you're taking away a big part of it. When it's being played at night, it's really taking a big part out of that derby. And I completely agree with you. They need to bring it back to the original time. Some more comments before I sign off from you guys. Baca should have scored the header before Zapata even scored. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Ash007 says, last time I said, why pick Zapata instead of Gomez? Now I know. Forza Milan, Ale Gio. Yeah, well, that was a completely random goal. But, a goal's a goal, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, getting back to that thing regarding Baca, just one last comment. Mandip is saying he did deserve another season, and I completely agree. Last year I said it. He deserves another season to prove himself. He deserves another season. He got his extra season, and I completely made my judgment on him. It's not a guy to have for the future. Simply not a guy to have for the future. He was good for this transition for these 2 years, but I don't know. I think the Chinese should get rid of him this summer. At least that's my take on it. Chrissy says Gio's 5th place Europa League directly or playoff. I think there is a playoff. I think it's a playoff round, but not third qualifying round. So I think if you end in 6th place, sorry, my apologies. I think what it is, it's 4th and 5th go directly to the group stage from what I'm seeing, and I think the 6th place will have to go through playoffs. I think that's what it is, but I'm not 100% sure with you guys. Clayton says, Gio, for me, this was the most important draw. The future begins from here. Luca Chuch says the midfield was especially weak today, defending, and Baca did not help at all. Completely agree. Does Lapadula deserve a chance to start the next game now after Baca's performance tonight? We've been saying this all season round. Does he deserve it? Does he not deserve it? I would start Lapadula personally, but it's not about deserving or not deserving it. Montella knows that Baca's the guy that's earning more and he needs to start. Stupid psychology, or philosophy rather, to have, but you cannot do much about that. That's his take on it. He's going to be starting Baca until the end of the season, probably, unless he gets injured or something. But I would personally start Lapadula if I had the choice. Nikesh, I already did take some subscribers' calls. I don't know if you just tuned in, but we already answered 2 or 3 calls. Gliderman says, this game solidifies my opinion that De Gio should only be a right back. Yes, once again, you can also have De Gio playing as right back and Antonelli playing on the left side, or even Calabria on the right and Antonelli on the left side. I think Antonelli is a must to start, to be honest with you. Even Vanjoni, this guy he's better to have than De Gio at left. I think De Gio needs to play on the right, if anything. But today, I wasn't really impressed with his game. I think he was one of the worst players, to be honest with you. His defending was very lackluster. Didn't do much again. And more, you know, he's one of the more inconsistent players, to be honest with you. He just doesn't cut it for me. To be honest with you, it's just like he doesn't have that tag that says captain for me. He's not a presentation of a captain for me. And that's why, you know, he could be a player definitely, but to have him as a captain, it's a big no-no for me. Some people, we reached 12,700 subscribers. Well, that was our goal for today. So thank you all for that, guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting the channel on a consistent basis. And on that note, if you guys haven't yet liked the video, please do so. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so as well. You can also donate to the channel if you guys want to help out the channel, support it in whichever way possible. You could donate anything you want. Just click on that super chat button near the live comments and make your donation like that. Every donation is definitely appreciated. So if you guys want to do that, support the channel, make sure to click on that button. Thank you all guys for joining me today on the watch along and the review. It's been a long day, but finally we got a pretty decent result, I guess I have to say. So yeah, I'll be catching you guys next time. Thank you for coming in once again. This has been Gio signing off, and as always, Forza Milan.